Hi, my name is Bill Robertson, and I'm a professor of STEM education in the College of Education at the University of Texas at El Paso. And here for Site 2026, I'm doing my presentation on flipping the science classroom with constructivism. So this really started with the idea of coming out of the pandemic. How could classes be done differently? And we've been doing things online. I've been doing a lot of hybrid teaching for some time and certainly found it in a constructivist approach. And so this idea of how could the science classroom be better suited for teaching and to emphasize active learning, but also to use the framework of constructivism. So why do this? Well, one of the things that I really discovered along the way, and one of the reasons why I consider myself a constructivist educator, is that I think it's just the way we learn. I think we get experiences, and then when we have those experiences, then when we have content, it's necessary content, we grab onto it and it becomes part of how we think and learn. Differing from, I would say, a more didactic approach where someone delivers content and then asks you to do something with it. So the story is about the cell phone. So often we get our cell phone, we use it, we uh, have it, and but the first thing we do with the cell phone is what? We investigate it, we play with it, we look at it, we ask friends, how do these things work? We look for different apps. We maybe, watch some short videos on social media or on YouTube, and then we look in depth. And then when we have a problem with it, where we don't understand something after we exhausted our experience, our network, and any other immediate resources we can find, then we turn to the manual. So we don't get a new phone, unwrap the box, and read the manual. We actually do the way we would do it through experience. So that's, I think, the way that we learn. When you get a cell phone, you don't read the manual, you play with it and you experience it, and then you learn. And then when you read the manual, the content has something to grab onto. And that's an important part of understanding a flipped classroom that's done with constructivism. So this will be sort of the overview of things I'm going to do today, just looking at some ways I've done this and characterizing it within a biology classroom. So this will be, I think, the big part of this. But the last bullet, where you lead with a face-to-face active learning approach, and then you go to content online, is at the heart of flipping the science classroom with constructivism. Now, the one thing that has come up a lot is when people talk about flipping the classroom, there's often I would say, two schools of thought. A lot of people say they flip the classroom, and what they do is they load their content first, and then they, bring students in after they've looked at material and, had this kind of content experience, and then they come to class and do something with the content. Um, I think that, that idea of bringing content first and then bringing in an experience based on the content is really, to me, just a way of replicating sort of the traditional approach. It's almost like, lecturing and then asking students to go do something. And whether you are putting a lot of content at the beginning and then asking students to, hey, look at all this stuff and then come to class ready to do this. I think it's, that's replicating that didactic instructor-led approach. Um, the, the big part of this to me is that, students, the expectation is that students will be provided this content and then they'll do something with it. And I think my experience is that students don't even look at the content before they come to class. And so in some ways, I think we're fooling ourselves if we try to think we're flipping the classroom by just loading content ahead, ensuring that, asking the students to look at it and then having them come to class to, engage further with the content that they should have read or looked at. I just don't think they're doing it. So what can we do? I think the idea from a constructivist standpoint is that you lead with the experience and then you provide the content. Truly, that's the difference between a traditional approach and a constructivist approach. In the traditional approach, you deliver content and then you ask students to do something with it. In the hybrid or the constructivist-based flipped classroom, you give an experience, and then you ask students to bring the content, and then they have something for it to anchor onto. So in some ways, they show up, they get engaged, they do things, and then later on, the content comes into play. So this big idea of trying to get them to be active in their learning, and then also to put them in situations where that information will be necessary for them to learn. And so for the big part is that you're going to have a much more active learning approach to the classroom. And in many ways, the ideas of how it's constructivist is because you're going to be asking students to engage and explore with the content, and then you're going to bring content to them so that it can be explained and elaborated on outside of class. The big thing is that you're building this approach. So people come to your classroom, they do an experience, they go look at the content, they learn from that, and now with that experience, they have the content, they come back and do a much richer experience, and they go even further within that. And so one way that I've done this is within biology. And you can start in your classroom as an active learning just with basic questions, how to like maybe we're studying photosynthesis or something like that. And we might ask, why are plants useful for life on Earth? Or how do plants and animals depend on each other? Or why are most plants green? And you get this brainstorming kind of approach going through to really activate student learning and to get them thinking as they're going through their activities. Then you would ask them to, work with other students, perhaps jigsawing, give different people options or areas that they can explore in the classroom, keep facilitating with questions. And then after the class, you can say, okay, well, after your class, look at this idea and some of these visual simulations or videos or content information related to photosynthesis that answers the questions of why are plants essential for life? How do plants and animals depend on each other? And why are most plants green? This is the approach of doing the engage and the explore, and then linking it to the explain and the elaborate as well. The big thing about this is that it's a hybrid course design, and typically what I've done to make I think this approach work, at least for my classes, is that you have face-to-face synchronous time and then asynchronous time away from class. So you always try to bring people into the classroom, have students working with students, have students working with the teacher, and then when they're outside of class, have students work with the content. And those three interactions, student to teacher, and student to content, are the three kinds of interactions you want a student to have, because that's the essence of a student-centered approach. So this, I think, approach can be very successful, especially in a science classroom that's built on experimentation or built on experience. Here's one that could be done in a classroom is, so you use engagement, you use real world ideas, you use hooks for people to look at. So maybe biological phenomenon that are in the news, maybe a natural occurrence of something, a new species that would really spark interest in the classroom. And then for the exploration, you use questions to facilitate that kind of, hands-on laboratory experience that's student-centered, teacher-facilitated, this active learning approach in the classroom. And then you deliver content, and that can be readings, that can be lectures, that could be things you've recorded and sent out to your students, and lots of different things that can be done, and they can do that outside of class. So you don't need to spend the time flipping through, slides or doing notes in any way. That you can have that content outside of class. And then they have exercises or things they do, problem-solving exercises that combine the content and the experience they had in the classroom. And then, of course, with the evaluation, you want to test and make sure they're gaining the knowledge that you anticipated as well. So the big ideas for this, I think, hopefully are coming to terms. And I think for a science classroom where you're built on, doing things, this approach of a constructivist flipped science classroom, I think can work very well. You should always lead with a face-to-face meeting and then do the online, not front load online things and then ask people to come into class. It always leads off with a face-to-face session. And that face-to-face session should have people doing things. It was John Dewey who said, you learn by doing. And Dewey is one of those people who is a foundational, author of constructivism. So, learning is the responsibility of the learner, and you learn by doing it. So those are the things you want to do in the classroom. And this is great for hands-on experimentation where you don't know where it's going or what's going to happen. People are discovering these things, and that experience is really important. And working with others is really important. And then after they get out of class, now they've got questions. They want to try to figure out how it to make sense. And they go and look at the primary content to see, what they can learn and what they can do from that. This idea that, it's couched in the real world, and it's also something that, people are really working through. So, if people aren't interested in what the class has, in fact, and they're not involved, this is, they're not going to look at the content either before or after the experience. So you really have to kind of put people in experiences, whether that's experiments, whether that's, demos, whether that's different things you do to get them really engaged in thinking. And then once they're thinking, you bring that those experiences out of the classroom. So, as I mentioned before, leading with questions is a big deal for this. Having students work in small groups when they're in the classroom. Again, classroom face-to-face first, then followed by the content that comes after that. The face-to-face portion is synchronous in the classroom. It's student-centered, teacher-facilitated, active learning, technology-enhanced classroom approaches. And then outside of class, you're doing this asynchronous portion where you're delivering content through videos, lectures, primary readings, case studies, all these different pieces, and then asking students to now do something like problem solve or work on some kind of way of demonstrating their learning so that they can deepen and broaden that knowledge through the elaboration phase. And then, of course, you repeat this pattern, face-to-face synchronous, asynchronous online, and then at some point you evaluate whether that's a quiz or a test or a demonstration or a presentation, something that has both formative and summative evaluation pieces. So in conclusion, I would just like to say, the flipped classroom is something that we use all the time, but in another sense, not many people use it the same way. And that's been my experience. Often when people say they're doing a flipped classroom, many different people mean many different things. And that's why I think a framework of constructivism really provides an anchor for understanding how best to flip a classroom, that you go through the stages of engage, explore, explain, elaborate, and evaluate, with engage and explore being the face-to-face or the synchronous piece that you do when you lead off. And then outside of class in the asynchronous space, you do the explain, which is the primary content, the elaboration, which would be problem-solving exercises, and then you bring it back within the evaluation to see how student learned. These two things, I think, leading with the face-to-face through the engage and explore, and then doing the asynchronous online through the explain and the elaborate, finishing with the evaluation, is a way of bringing together both the importance of having students work with others, but also having time for them to wrestle with the content outside of class. So, as I mentioned at the end, an effective constructivist flipped class hybrid classroom should employ a teaching approach in which experiences always lead the introduction of content knowledge. Think about the cell phone and how you use it, how you really learn. I think you'll see that flipping the science classroom with constructivism is a way to go, and hopefully this is something that helps you. Thank you for taking the time to see this, and I hope you enjoy not only the presentation, but the materials I share as well. Thank you.